Alec.
What?
Oh, Misa Jar Jar Binks.
Misa, your humble servant.
Misa Jar Jar Binks. What do you think that last episode? Pretty hot?
It's made me more depressed than that time I saw Kashi. Well, that's my entire character plot line, so I can't go into that details because of spoilers, but
Mm-hmm.
let's just say my life means more is less depressing than that life that was in that episode of Black Mirror.
Makes
That
you
was a
want
very depressing
to
episode of Black Mirror.
makes you want to
It's
tear your
just
eyes out, huh?
it was what'd you just say?
Makes you want to tear your eyes out.
Yeah, kind of like what you're
Uh,
horrifyingly doing to your eye stalks
uh,
right now. Yes.
God. Mask off moment.
Mask off. He can take his mask off. If he could take his mask off, like I could understand the man. All right.
All right. Well, it's
Yeah.
the last time we'll have to don the mask this year, right?
You have to Don or Duff.
Donald.
That's what I.
Yes.
Donald Duff.
If you don't know it, yeah, it's the month of October. That's where festive and very festive, and
This is the most scuffed costume I've come up with all year. The other ones I all bought. That one was like I bought a mask, and then I'm like, I don't know.
well, once the mask comes off,
Happy
I'm just a
Halloween.
brown shirt. So
Yeah, I'm just a backwards Red Sox fan, I guess. You know. So.
If you're new, we're doing every episode of Black Mirror. I've seen them all. Alec has not, and we're taking through. We've been doing alternating seasons of Survivor and seasons of Black Mirror. All right, so we'll be finishing out season 3, and then we'll take a break before going into the other season. All right. Right now we're on San Junipero is the name of this episode. But previously we watched Shut Up and Dance was the last episode that we watched, and you were telling me before recording that it's had an effect on you since.
Yeah. I mean, it was just a very bleak episode, and it just kind of made me like sad for like the next couple of days after I watched it. So, 'cause, yeah, man, it's just kind of a bleak, depressing ending to its view of humanity is very like unrepentant and unforgivable, I guess. So it's like
Right, it's like the punishment for these crimes is still in itself is cruel. Like the way that this hacker's going about things, it's immoral all around.
Right, and it's like, does the kid who was a pedophile, did he deserve all that? No, but also it's hard to feel sympathy for him at the same time because of what he did.
Yeah. Obviously, this hacker would be much more based if we didn't go through this whole episode. Just did the normal thing, and what he did at the end of the episode is at the police there.
Yeah.
Right.
But now
they made a game out of it, and made them go do their little missions, and then ultimately, 2 pedophiles fight to the death, and then troll face.
Yeah.
For all of them.
Yeah, we'll do what we threatened to do anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So then we ranked it last episode. It ended up going right in the middle. We've watched 10 episodes so far, and it landed number 5. All right. And so we'll see if that changes as we think of it more. You said you soured on it, but does that change your feelings of the episode?
I don't necessarily know. I don't think so. I still thought it was pretty well written and executed, but we'll see as time goes on. As time goes by,
you don't want to give it credit because it lures you in, and it makes you like their little it's like a buddy cop dynamic going on, and you're rooting for them, and then they pull it out from under you.
Yeah, tear the rug right out. Yeah,
the Rugrats.
This is a classic show.
That's what we should be talking about.
That's right, classic. So no one wants to talk about it, but me.
No
we're the only ones brave enough to talk about it.
There you go. All right. As always, you can click the link in the description to see the highlights of our reaction and come back afterwards for the discussion. Okay.
All right.
San Junipero.
I kind of hated the ending. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yep. Yeah, I kind of hated it.
All right, so we get
interesting because
this is a happy ending.
This is a happy ending
compared to all other Black Mirror endings. You don't like it.
It's framed as a happy ending, but I don't take it that way.
Well, yeah, that's the dilemma, right?
Yeah, That's interesting. It's a very interesting episode, though. I like the exploration of that concept, of that idea.
I do really like the episode. I think it's kind of a beautiful love story mixed with the whole. I think it's one of the most interesting hypothetical technologies to discuss. Also, just this idea of uploading your consciousness to the cloud, basically.
Yeah, I think it's a nightmare.
Okay, well, there's a lot of elements. There's positive and negatives all over the place with it, right? So why do you not like the ending?
I think it's so to me it's like I appreciate what the episode is doing in terms of how this is a very different tone from any of the other Black Mirror episodes that we've ever watched.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate it for that. I just don't like the decisions of the plot. I appreciate the tone and the overall positive. I like the fact that it's a happy ending.
You don't like the character's decision, or?
No, I don't.
Why not?
Because if you take everything that she sort of described about why she was deciding not to want to upload her consciousness to this place,
mm-hmm.
All of those decisions are pretty good, and by pretty good I mean that's worth staking your whole life on. But instead it's a weird oh no, but this passing thing is this is worth hanging on to now, though, because even though it's fake, it's still worth being happy for the remainder of however long the server stays online for. But to me, and that's interesting. I mean, I think for some people that would be beneficial, but
mm-hmm.
particularly the people whose lives were unfair, to a certain degree, paraplegic or quadriplegic in this case, or someone who's brain dead,
mm-hmm.
or close to brain dead, but having enough function to be able to upload whatever you have left into the cloud. But I think the thing that makes life actually special is the fact that it's fleeting, is the fact that it's temporary. And I don't think that an imagined paradise that people dream up can match. I just don't think that that's recipe for a good existence for an afterlife. It's interesting. I'll give it that. You can't take anything away from this episode. I'm not going to rank this episode low because I don't like the ending, because the episode is really good and I appreciate the tone. I just don't agree with the ending at all. So,
do you not agree with the ending, or you just not agree with the character's choice? Because you could just not agree with her choice, but you don't like it as. I
don't like it because the episode frames it as this is a great thing. This is a great thing that happens, but I don't think it is a great thing that happens.
Well, because we're focused on.
I think it's sad.
Yeah,
and depressing, and yeah,
you could see it either way, right? I do like it in the fact that it's this LGBT love story, which was actually pretty rare at the time, especially. And
that was kind of rad. Yeah, they did a really tasteful, really good job of that.
And if you look from her perspective, okay, she did say she doesn't believe that they are together now. That's her belief. She doesn't even believe that they are together. They're just nowhere, right? That's what she believes. Her husband and her daughter. And so it's it's tough if you weigh that. It's should I just accept nothingness if that's what I believe? Or do I go with this alternative, this person who I've it's another love of mine now, and try this out? And there is the option that you can remove yourself. I guess
it makes sense that people would do it. Makes sense that people would do that. 100%. Yeah.
And I don't necessarily think it's invalid or even the bad choice if your belief is that there is nothing in there and they're nowhere.
But
to stake your whole life on the, like, not even give it a shot on experiencing more. But what you're saying is she's of old age anyway. It's not like she's young, right? So the thing of life is that it's fleeting, so she should just accept it.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's tough when you're presented with that option, though, that that's not an option that people have right now.
No.
And there's so many elements to it. I really like how they go into the fact of, like, her husband at first is like, he didn't pass over, and it's like, no, why wouldn't he pass over? And then you unwrap it more. It's like the daughter died at 39, and she didn't have a chance to, you know?
Yeah.
And that's a crazy thought to think about too, right? Like the people who, like, die before they even get the opportunity to. So then it makes the decision harder on people who think about using it, you know?
Right. So it's like, so then it makes sense that there's a section of the world then that's like filled with people who are like basically miserable and just trying to move on, because, you know, all those people could be, I don't know, individuals who, you know, they could have had like no one in their lives, like none of their friends passed over or whatever into San Junipero. And so they're just alone. And so they're just trying to, like, they're trying to make connections, feel something. Yeah.
And it's cool. Like, she asked early on when they were still, like, vague about what the thing was. She was like, well, eventually it gets to the point where she asks how many of these people are dead. And she says, oh, the full timers, like 85% are dead.
Yeah.
Because then you have some people trying it out. Or like
a trial run, basically.
Trial run, yeah. But it's also wild to think of as just a mechanism of, like, you can visit your loved one who actually died and who lived in San Junipero. Like, imagine being able to visit them. That's a wild thought too. Like, I'll just stop in San Junipero and see.
Just see how things are going, you know? Yeah, and then you find out that they're having, you know, so, like, imagine if this story framed as if, you know, she comes back and finds it. It's like, oh, her husband's there now. That takes a different tone of the story entirely.
Yeah.
They'd be like, oh, is she cheating on him?
There's so...
Kinda, yeah.
There's so much...
If he's still around.
Well, yeah, but she didn't know, if that's the story, right?
Yeah.
There's so many, like, ways they could take just this one technology into so many different stories, right? And it's weird. It's a weird feeling because it's like she's dying of old age, but she's also going on to, like, basically have another marriage now as a young person.
Yeah.
Like a young person in this world.
And she's never gonna age here either. So
it's like everybody's just young.
Wasn't there some line about, like, oh, but you don't necessarily have to be there forever or something like that? Like, you can
take yourself out of it.
Oh, okay.
Right, so what she said earlier.
So would you just kill yourself in that world and then that's it? Oh, okay.
What she said earlier about when she was sitting up there on the roof, she was like, I hope you have your pain sliders set to 0.
Yeah.
So I guess you have to turn the pain sliders up and just kill yourself like normal, huh?
I guess.
That's tough. The only way out is not a natural way. Like, you have to literally kill yourself to end it then.
Yeah, that's cool, I guess.
That is tough. But because it's like, you definitely see the upside, but also it's like, if you're in just this town, if the world is just this town, then it's like you're gonna run out of things to do, right? It's gonna become miserable at some point, you would imagine.
It's like, can you pick any time, like any time period, including the modern one? Like, can you? But if you're living there full time, can you choose? Like, I guess you can.
I don't know, but
it's strange because, remember, it's strange because the different time periods have different people in them. It seems like.
Well, yeah, it's just like wherever they're at the moment. So she had to, like, go hop in time period just to find her.
Yeah.
You don't know where they're at. I like the stipulations that Greg kind of put in, where it's like they have restrictions on it in terms of people that aren't there full, like after they die, because you don't.
Right.
If you're there too long, then you'll disassociate and want to be in there. Some people would just prefer being in San Junipero to where they're actually at in life. So it's interesting they limited their time in there. But that's also an interesting thing they went into is that you need someone to sign off on, like, passing over, basically. And her family was super religious, so they would not let her, or they wouldn't sign off on it. So that's why Greg, the guy who works at this hospital, he's gonna marry her so that they can sign off on it and have her pass over.
I don't know. You have to be super religious to be against it. I would say I'm moderately religious, and I'm not into it.
Well, he said very religious or something like that.
They're Alex Jones loving right wing. Yeah, not this one though.
Well, yeah. So that's an interesting from your perspective, right? For someone who is religious, that's also an interesting perspective to have to wrestle with that too.
Yeah,
because it's like you're choosing. If you accept there's an afterlife, you want to go to the afterlife, but then there's this artificial afterlife there, right? And that's tangible. So so there's gonna have a lot of conflict with that.
Yeah, that's the thing. But that's also the thing too, is because that then delves into the question that we absolutely do not have time to talk about right now. But it's like, what actually makes you human? So it is just uploading your consciousness. Is that you? If you could even possibly even do that, which you can't, but even if you could possibly do that, is that you? Is that because you are the collection? Your soul is the collection of all of that particulate. So then, for that to actually legitimately be you, you would have to be somehow uploading your soul into the system, which there's no technology that does that, because that's an intangible aspect of your soul, of your being.
Well, it's like the consciousness. We've seen this similar technology with Black Mirror, where they upload like their consciousness into this technology, like the girl in White Christmas, where it's like you're gonna run your take care of your house's settings and all that. Mm-hmm. So we've seen similar technology where they can just place themselves. And in this case, it's not a clone. Like that one was like
it's like a mini clone or something.
In White Christmas, it was like a replication of yourself, right? But this one is actually yourself going in. It's pretty much like the idea of a virtual reality that kind of idea that's been explored so often. It's that on like a greater scale now. It's like
like Inception. It's like the Inception sort of world, right? So you've seen Inception?
I haven't.
Okay, so this reference means nothing to you, but we should watch Inception. That movie is really good.
Yeah, I would like to.
I don't know.
I love this. Is really interesting to think about. If you think about like, I think that's the hardest thing that would be the most conflict is if like your child dies, or someone in your family dies unexpectedly, and you don't have the option of this technology, right? And I feel like once you get to a certain point where you're like ill, if you have like cancer or you're an old age, you would probably be like terrified that you would die in your sleep and then not get the chance to do this. Like that's what I would think about. So it's like how early we got to make sure we get in this world before we miss out on a chance.
Yeah, exactly. You could miss it all.
And if your partner or whoever, your child, misses out on it, that's tough. I do but just simply I like the vibes also in the beginning, just like 80s, and then skipping through time. I like the little vibes we got from that too.
Yeah, it's just an interesting. I sort of figured out kind of a little bit what it was about, but I didn't know exactly, because I knew it was like, okay, there's something about being dead or dying or something. I couldn't really quite piece it together. So, but I like the fact that they were hinting at it so early on.
Yeah, they made a joke about it. Like she's got 6 months to live, and then she's like 5 actually.
5 actually.
That's a nice touch. 5 months.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, that's like a legit thing.
Yeah.
So it's like, um, yeah, it was an interesting episode for sure. I mean, it's like, yeah, the fact that it is so starkly like optimistic in comparison to the rest of its. I mean, especially because this is following up like the most pessimistic episode, probably.
Yeah, and it's like an optimistic take on technology, which is like the antithesis of Black Mirror generally.
Yeah.
But
so it's really interesting.
Yeah, you can take out your own meaning from it, like you were saying.
Yeah.
It might not be positive to you.
But that's it's I mean that in and of itself makes it stand apart. I mean, it was also music, you know, your 80s vibes, yeah, all the lighting and everything too.
Their little relationship is nice too. I like the dynamic.
Yeah,
I feel like their
yeah,
the development of that I feel like was organic. It was natural. I wasn't like talking for most of the second half of this episode. We didn't say much. It's just kind of speaks for itself. You know, you just
you don't really need to. Yeah, it's just kind of a nice. It's kind of a nice drama, sort of. You know, it's like, yeah, interesting.
And I really like the framing of from the beginning that they play heaven as a place on earth, and then that's like the whole concept of the episode, and they wrap it up again, play the song again.
Yeah. There's a heaven as a place on earth.
Now, you know, we had mentioned a little bit about the technology, like what if there's a blackout, you know?
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking about too. How is that sustainable? You know, you need to have like backup generators on backup generators, and
how much freaking energy is this taking to hold the thousands upon thousands upon thousands?
Who are you trusting with this to like not one day just be like, oh, forget about it, and then you're screwed?
It seems like it's a Star Trek universe at this point. That's kind of like what the world felt like more to me. Maybe not quite as so sanitized as the Star Trek world, because you still have like disease and like cancer and stuff. But in terms of like, oh, it's just it almost feels like everyone can afford it. Is sort of what it feels like. It's like, oh, we like do away with money? Are we living in like a communist society now?
It was still afforded, but it's still like there's got to be something that could happen that just messes it. You lose it all.
Yeah,
and you get this whole robotic arm. You got robotic arm doing it.
Yeah, somebody could hack into the mainframe. They could take all these people's. I don't know what they would do with any of them, but
yeah, you're subjecting yourself to that. You're like kind of trusting the system, right? And it's interesting they did have the little when the robot arm put their consciousness in there. It said like San Junipero and some numbers, so it makes you think: is San Junipero just like one option, and there's like all these other? Like,
oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, they could be different communities, maybe. Yeah.
Or is it like San Junipero 1, San Junipero 257?
Yeah.
Because obviously, it's emulating a town, so you can't just fit everybody in there. It's got to be a cap to it, right?
Right.
But I mean, it's interesting. Like, yeah, if it's seemingly restricted just to a town, then that's like there's so much. Like you just show them dancing, you know. It's like nightlife and dancing, but it's like how much more can you do?
Can you go like fishing
and like work?
Yeah, it's gonna get kind of boring to just. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Where it is like that would be like maybe like a couple months, couple years of that maybe might not be so bad. But then like we're talking about thousands of years of that.
Like, another Black Mirror episode would be like hundreds of years later into this. Like, what are they looking like now? How's it going?
Yeah.
But like, how far can you drive out to? What's the limit? You like run into your dead end here. So there's a lot of questions.
It's limited. That's what I mean. Like it's limited to the technology, whereas most religious afterlives are actual afterlives. They're not just like a replication of a town. It's like no, the whole world is going to be different. It's going to be a completely new reality. Like. Mm-hmm. And that's in and of itself a whole new that's a whole new adventure. I mean, you could think of it as that way.
Yes, but as someone who's not religious, that's
there you go.
More terrifying.
Your little heaven, your little place on earth is sufficient. It's sufficient, I suppose, for those who are not.
Look, it's like you you have to give me a guarantee. If I have this tangible thing here, it's like I'm supposed to just.
At least we can enjoy that until the sun destroys the Earth,
The heat death
right?
the universe, but we've
Yeah,
already.
the heat death the universe. Yeah.
We probably already fixed that, right? In this world,
fixed that. Yeah, we fixed that by that time. We fixed that. Yeah.
Sidelined that.
Well, I mean, I suppose if you think about it a certain way, is that once that's all done, I mean, you wouldn't even know at that point, right?
Yeah, it's just like boom, switch flipped, gone.
You wouldn't have any concept of nothing happening because you can't have anything.
Then you get to go to the afterlife, the actual afterlife. All right, have your cake and eat it too.
Yeah, and then
freaking spend thousands of years in San Junipero, and then you get your real eternity.
Yeah, and then everyone's just standing at the pearly gates with we're like, the San Junipero crowd showed up. Here they are.
Finally, we've been waiting for you.
All right.
Literally like millions of people in an instant.
Yeah, it's just like, oh my goodness.
That would be like, yeah, you put that on the record. Like, there's a power outage, you lose everybody. It's like, wow, that's like the single most deadly massacre we've ever had of human life. Millions dead in an instant.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But they're all already dead, though.
Yeah,
it's just their concept.
It's true.
So it's
just their somehow.
But hey, if you can give me like a guarantee of an afterlife, I'll go that way. It's tough. It's tough for me. You got this nice one here. I'll just go there until it gets boring. Then I'll wing it. All right, and then hope for the best.
And then we'll see. We'll see what it's like afterwards.
I love this. I really like this episode. I love this technology. It's fun.
I mean, it's definitely. I mean, even if they're not necessarily intending it to have the thought-provoking angle that I'm coming out of it as, I'm enjoying it simply for the fact that it does offer that, like, that is a very. I mean, but they had to have, because they included the religious angle already in the episode. So, like, yeah, I mean, it's such an interesting. This is such an interesting, unique way that they've implemented technology that we've never seen in this show yet before. And they did, and as you said, it put a positive spin on it. I mean, in and of itself, like, they should be applauded for that. But like, not only did they make an episode that was trying that, they passed with flying colors. Like, what a good story, you know.
Yeah, so, if you just look at it just by it, it's like a little love story. It's great there, but you take it back. If you keep peeling it back, there's more depth to it, and it's even better. I think there's something beautiful about just the interaction of like her and her actual older self going to visit her and the.
Yeah, I thought that was beautiful, actually. Like when she was like, oh, I don't want you to meet me, and then she's like, no, I'm going to. Like, how bad do you think? I thought here I was thinking the Black Mirror dark twist of some sort, but no, it was just, oh, okay, she's a quadriplegic, so it's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, and I love that, like, yeah, they acknowledge it's shown as a positive thing and it's happy, but they acknowledge it's not like black and white. You know, there's like, you can, when they present her backstory of like her husband and her daughter, you can clearly see the conflict there. It's not like, oh, this is an easy choice to just go one way or another. So I like it a lot. Where would you put it in the rankings so far?
What do we got? What do we got so far? We got 10 episodes now, so I can't remember everything.
So we got Playtest, White Christmas, Entire History of You, 15 Million Merits, Shut Up and Dance, Nosedive, Be Right Back, White Bear, National Anthem, and The Waldo Moment.
I put it right around Entire History of You, I think. It's up there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking?
I would also put it similarly. This is a lot of people's favorite episode. A lot of people love this episode.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's many of Black Mirror episodes are people's favorite episodes.
Yeah. Looking at the general rankings, because Wikipedia does a really nice job of like giving episode rankings for this. Yeah, this is generally high on most of the published lists. Mm-hmm. Which is interesting.
And again, I do want to stress that it's a great depiction of like an LGBT love story that you didn't see at the time. And you see both sides of it. It's like,
yeah. What year was this? Was this like 2014?
Somewhere around there.
Which is kind of, hold on, let me see. 2016. But yeah, I mean, even still, it's not really the most common thing. I mean, it's kind of like all over the place on TV now, but
it's usually not done this well. Like I think they handled.
No, I mean, I think, like I said, this was like really like it wasn't like jamming it down your throat or anything like that. Not phrasing. But it really wasn't like, yeah, it was great. I mean, it was very, yeah, it was good. That's where I've seen her before. She's in Blade Runner 2049. Okay. I think I'd put it like just above Entire History of You. Maybe. It's hard to say. That episode is wonderful. I might maybe just below it. Man, I don't know.
We hope to look forward to seeing you. This is I'm right there too. Either before or after that one, I think.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna put it. I would put it after Entire History of You for now.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, I think it's honestly, it's like tied, because like Entire History of You is like really well written, really good technology, and that has like a negative sort of like ending, or like kind of and then there's like
I could easily change it too. It's like the whole top 5 are interchangeable for me right now. So for now, number 4 out of the episodes so far, and subject to change for sure.
Yeah, like, I could go up, honestly, but
again, like I said, I think the top 5 are solidly the top 5 for me right now, which is Playtest, White Christmas, Entire History of You, San Junipero, and 15 Million Merits. I think they're all killer. I could see them all like any order.
So I'm looking right now. Originally, it was gonna have an unhappy ending, but
I bet it's so tempting with this technology, huh? It's so tempting to do that.
But yeah, no, it's like, no. Yeah, it's not a big rainbow sandwich, but what appears to be happening there is happening there. Yeah, that's oh, Bubble Bobble.
Bubble Bobble.
Yeah, it shows up in Pac-Man too.
Do you relate to
they even do the
guy in the
do
arcade?
That guy just got to sit down and enjoy arcades.
Okay, so
for his whole life.
yeah, I need to know his story. I need to know his story. Is he dead or? Also, yeah, I mean, we didn't even go to the fact of like the idea of young people going into San Junipero, right? Like, imagine like children that have like these terminal illnesses.
Yeah.
Things like that.
I mean, it seems like they'd be. Yeah, it seems weird. But
does that work? They just like everybody's there like a young adult.
Yeah, they're all like young adults, and like there's a clear like sexual tension with like everything and everyone. Whereas like children going there, obviously that's not a thing.
Yeah.
For children, so it's like, so is there like a weird? Maybe there's a sanitized. Maybe there's like a children's version of San Junipero or something.
Yeah, where you can't go to the Quagmire sex club. Right around the corner.
Yeah.
Because you think that would be like a very enticing option, right? If your child has like this disease that they can't outlive, you let them live in there and be able to visit them through there. That's a cool.
But yeah, I think I think what was it, immersive nostalgic therapy is sort of the function of it. I think that like as a technology for that, I think that's great. So
yeah, just give them a little bit. You can go in there once a week, 5 hours, a little bit. All right. Well, in the meantime, what video would you recommend our viewers watch next?
They should go watch our. I'm trying to think of what would be a good. They should go watch a review. I'm trying to think of what deals with this sort of.
You haven't done any of the simulation things, huh?
No, you know what? You should go check out Soul. Go check out a review of Soul.
Yeah, there's a different exploring life in a different way, huh? Through a different lens.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that
But
out.
close to death, that's.
Yeah, I just think it's a fascinating thing. You could talk about this alone for hours.
Mm.
Maybe there's some more we could talk about with it at some point.
Oh, I bet, yeah.
Another video. We'll come back next week for another episode of Black Mirror. We got 2 episodes left of the season.
Dang, still 2 more? There's just like bangers, so many bangers, man. Yeah. This is all good episodes.
Yeah, and so this is the end. We had a little like 4 episodes for the month of October. We had a wild different. We had the Nosedive, which is like overly positive looking, but it was like not good on the inside.
Yeah.
Then we had Playtest, which was like obviously
a horror game, a horror movie,
and a tragic turn on that.
Yeah.
And then we had Shut Up and Dance, which was really dark, and depressing, ultimately. And then we have this one, which is positive.
Yeah, very much not bad.
The whole gamut here.
Yeah.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave a comment, hit the notification bell, and click the links in the description for our social media. All right.
All right.